Hello, this review is for Better Homes and Gardens Creamy Tahitian Coconut Candle. Now this is a 13 ounce. I guess I'd call it like their medium jar. I know they have a larger jar, so whether you want to call it their small or medium. I know they have votives of it as well. And this is my first time, at least that I can remember, trying out this candle. They have a lot of these different fragrances at Walmart. And Better Homes and Gardens has a lot of different fragrances there, but I kind of wanted to go for one that was just a more simple and a sweet fragrance. I do love coconut scented candles, and I typically burn Yankee candles and Village candles, Colonial, and Bath and Body Works. So I haven't burned a lot of these, but the value is just so big that it's definitely worth a try. So I just wanted to share my review of this candle, and so far I'm really pleased with it. And I do have an Illuma lid on top. They don't technically fit. It's a Yankee candle Illuma lid. I just kind of set it on top, and that way it helps to give it a better burn. I'm probably halfway through or almost halfway through this candle, and I got a great compliment on it today from my son, where it was burning in one of the bathrooms, and he walked in and he later told me that that Tahitian coconut candle smelled really good. So I thought that was it's kind of what I was thinking too, but it's great to hear it from somebody else. Now, it's not super strong, which is kind of nice too. It's just a subtle fragrance. So if you're using these candles for fragrancing your living space, then it does a nice job of giving off a subtle fragrance. Not too strong, but just pleasant. And it's a pretty pure coconut smell, like it's not too synthetic smelling, and it might have a tiny bit of a hint of vanilla to it, but mostly just coconut. Now, let's see, they give a few burning tips on Walmart's website, and see if I can remember where I saw that. Let's see. Okay, and it does give tips to prevent fire, which, for the record, anything that you ever light and have a flame to, I think that we probably all think that we get so used to reading them, we're not reading them, we just don't ever even look at them. Like, those warnings must be for somebody else, but actually, it's actually very good to periodically read those warnings. And in this case, there was a couple things that stood out to me. One of them was, it says, do not burn for more than 4 hours. And that's kind of good to know, because I usually will try to burn a candle for as long as I can until the wick gets too high or the pool gets too deep. So just to be safe, don't burn it for more than 4 hours. And then it says to allow the candle to cool before you relight it. And then here's a good thing right here. It says to keep the wick trimmed to 1/4 inch to avoid, the wick from smoking. And I read that after the fact, but I did notice with this candle, one of the downsides to me is that you do have to trim the wick, or you will see that kind of black smoke, the kind that causes a lot of soot, kind of coming out from it in little wisps at a time. The flame itself in the wick, it kind of dances around, the flame does. So whatever that's worth. Some candles that are really high quality, I think, don't have a flame that dances around as much, but then that could just be my observation and not entirely accurate or anything. Now, it does say that when the wax gets down to 1/2 inch, to not burn it past that point. So a lot of people have candle warmers, and you can set a candle on the top there and let the wax pool without a flame, and that's always pretty safe, I think, and you get to use up the rest of the fragrance oil that's left in the wax. So that's an option to get the most money out of your little candle investment, if you want to look at it that way. And I'm pleased. I'm pleased and encouraged because the value is so high. Oh, and the cost. This candle was not on sale and it was only $3.97. So that is the full price for this candle. That's kind of impressive. I was pleasantly surprised that, like say I put myself on a wax band. People talk about putting themselves on wax bands, which is probably a good idea for me. I don't have to feel too guilty with these candles because the value is very high. But other than the super high quality candles where you do pay more money, I once had a very bad experience, not with this brand, with another brand that absolutely terrified me. And I might talk about that in another review sometime, but I tend to pay attention to the warnings because had I not been very alert and paying attention, something could have really caught on fire that night. So we did have to get a fire extinguisher. That's another story for another time, but I don't know. There's a certain comfort in knowing the higher quality candles are probably going to have a consistent type of standards for their wax and their production, and that's unlikely to happen, I would think, although you should never have false security like that either. So Walmart and the Better Homes and Gardens candle, this case creamy Tahitian coconut that more than myself liked in this house. My son, my husband, my other son, it's a nice little candle. It's not overwhelming, so if you don't like the highly perfumed ones, this is a good choice. I am noticing at the moment that the wax color in this video is more of a pink or a red, whereas to me it's more of a nice brown color, kind of like not quite the darkness of the shell of a coconut, but like just a brown, not so much like a reddish pink color. So at any rate, I can recommend this. This would be a good one to try at least once, I think. And would I buy it again? I think I would. I'll probably buy this again. I do. You know, I don't know. I feel like I'll have to blow it out, trim the wick, and relight it. So some might call that having to babysit it, babysitting a candle more than some others. But I don't think I mind that for the price. It's such a good value. Now the larger jars are those maybe, I don't know if those are maybe the 18 ounce. Anyway, they're a lot more. I don't know that they're quite 22 ounce, but those I think are only $6.97. So if you go for the larger jar, if I got another scent, I might try like a vanilla, some cookie type scent. I like the desserts and the fruit. But when I get too much into the flowers, I have to really be picky because I don't want to get a headache inducing candle. And then as far as like the oceany and water scents, I kind of like those too if they're not too perfumey and more like of a natural, watery, ocean breezy type scent, if that makes any sense. Anyway, I love those colors too, tend to be real pretty and cool colors. But I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to say. This is, I give it a thumbs up. It gives a fairly good throw, enough that it was noticed by someone else that I wasn't even asking for their opinion. And coconut, I mean, what, you can't go wrong. So thanks to Better Homes and Gardens and Walmart for putting out a fun candle, even though you need to keep an eye on it a little bit. I don't want blackening on my walls or my curtains or anything, or high flames. You do have to kind of just watch it, but you should always watch your candles anyway. So it might be kind of neat if they made a version of an Illuma lid. That might be a suggestion that fits the rim of the candle. Like up here, let's see, it's hot. This is hot. But see how it's just kind of sitting. It's not resting over the edges. It'd be great if they had one that fit their candles too. And then of course you can always reuse these jars. People that do crafts and whatnot, It's kind of fun and kind of cool to, uh, clean them out, soak off the label, and reuse the jars. It's kind of green that way. To reuse and make use of it. So anyway, it's a fun candle. I'm glad that I tried it, and it makes me want to try maybe another one sometime too. So I think I had tried another version of a Walmart candle that was highly recommended, a hazelnut one, but maybe I got a bad batch. I was not so impressed with that candle. So that was not the Better Homes and Gardens line either. I think it was a different brand at Walmart. So I'm pleased. I'm happy, especially for the price. So thank you so much for watching. Have a good evening. See you next time. Bye-bye.